Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Bird Brothers podcast. As always, I'm Falcon, joined by the terrific Condor. How are you doing today, Condor?
Oh, I'm feeling really stoned today, if you know what I'm saying.
You're so stoned today?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think I need to see a doctor.
A doctor, you say?
That's right. We watched Dr. Stone season 2, everybody. Woo!
The Stone Wars.
All right. Let's see who gets stoned more, me or you.
Probably you. But who knows? Anyway, yes, Dr. Stone's The Stone Wars, which appropriately covers the Stone Wars arc of the Dr. Stone manga. The fight between the Kingdom of Science and Tsukasa's Kingdom of Might. Who will prevail in the end?
Science or strength?
Yeah.
Gorilla.
Brains or muscles?
Monkey.
Taiju or yo? We'll have to find out. You know?
Well, we already found out. You'll have to find out.
Yeah. Unless you've already watched the show, and then you know you're like us, you already know.
Yes.
But also, just like all of our other podcasts where we only talk about season 2, there is going to be spoilers here. So if you've not watched season 2, you might want to come back after you finished. It's only 11 episodes, not very long.
Yeah,
you can watch it in a day if you want.
I mean, I didn't. I did watch a majority of it in a day though, because it was really good.
I split it up into like 2 and kind of treated it like I was watching a movie. So I watched like half of it, then I watched the other half, essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, like watching 2 movies at once. Mm-hmm. I liked it. Falcon liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 20 out of 10. That's our rating.
20 out of 10? No, I don't.
Even
good. Banner shows haven't gone that high. Let's be real. Although now I'm waiting for whenever we do ReZero, you're like 100 out of 10, best thing ever, and just go all crazy with it.
On it, no, I just probably give ReZero an 8 or a 9 out of 10, even though it's my favorite. Just because it's my favorite doesn't mean I love it. Like it's the perfect anime. There's no such thing as a perfect anime.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
no, you just haven't watched 100%. It yet.
Oh, I think I have. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, you're looking at Subaru? The
biggest
simp in anime?
Hey, you know that if you watch season 2, he ain't a simp no more.
Right, so does that go to the guy from Rent a Girlfriend?
God.
I still haven't even seen that, but I've heard he's terrible.
Well, I know what I'm picking for my next pick.
Oh gosh, really?
No, right. No. Well, actually, the manga is actually pretty fine for it, but the problem is the anime makes it a lot more perverted than it actually is.
I gotcha.
In my opinion.
Either way, it is time to get into some Dr. Stone. Condor, what was this arc about?
This arc, as we've mentioned, is a giant war between Senku's forces and Tsukasa's forces. Mm-hmm. Basically, what happened at the end of season 1 was they had Hyoga, one of Tsukasa's generals, attack Senku's kingdom, and the bad things went down, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of that, Senku's like, yeah, we gotta prepare, because after the winter, because it's winter time at the beginning, Tsukasa's gonna attack us and kill us all. So Senku decides that he's going to take the preemptive strike on them.
Mm-hmm. And it's about the Ishigami village and Kingdom of Science preparing to be able to fight Tsukasa before spring comes to have the upper hand.
Even though this anime was only 11 episodes, I feel like it still did pretty freaking well. And you said it covered 4 volumes earlier before the podcast. You said 4 volumes and 11 episodes. Wow.
I'll double back, but yeah, the whole Stone Wars like arc, which let's see, it should have the versus Hyoga arc and the communications arc. So yeah, we got like I guess technically the start of the versus Hyoga arc at the end of last season when he like first shows up to like scout out the village or whatever. But then the communications arc's the rest of it. So we should have gotten all of it. But let me bring up the page just to make sure I'm not just misremembering that.
But it's still like a lot of things they covered in 11 episodes, I'll say. I was impressed. I feel like I feel like nothing was rushed, in my opinion. Well,
no, and we even had some like unique stuff at the beginning with them making the whole like cup noodle. That didn't happen in the manga. But that was also mainly used as like a recap episode.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with the recap episode.
Yeah. So like it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I was kind of like, I don't remember this from the manga at all. So yeah. So the versus Hyoga arc started at the end of last season when they were having like the festival or whatever, and he comes to scout out. That technically started there. So we got pretty much all of it, besides the initial like introduction to Hyoga at the end of the last season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you've watched our first thing of Dr. Stone, we talked about a lot of the characters. Unfortunately, we won't be going over those characters again because that would make the podcast way too long. Even though we love having long podcasts, go watch our March Comes In Like a Lion one. So we're going to say I'm going to say all of our opinions still stand for all the old characters. I feel like none of that really changed.
I mean, the only ones that might have changed might have been Taiju and Yuzuriha, because we saw a little bit more of them. But if we decide to talk about them later, we can. We didn't put them on the list.
I was so happy they came back because I really loved them at the beginning, and I was sad that they weren't in like the majority of the rest of it. So I was really happy to see them, even if they didn't get that much of a spotlight. Although Yuzuriha, God, actually one of the GOATest characters.
He does so much.
Like, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Ooh. I'll put them on the list of characters just as like question marks in case we feel like we want to talk about them. Because I think we both had said like at the end of the time last time that like we really liked them, but they were just in there so little we didn't really get to like see them much.
Well, I will definitely say, since we're still talking about the old characters, Crom, freaking, oh my god, dude, his escape from Chrome. We're
not talking Fire Emblem.
Chrome, I'm sorry, Chrome, freaking literally GOAT, escaping jail on his own. Well, technically, Ukyo helped him, but still, he even though Ukyo gave him the battery, he still figured out what to do on his own because of his science and everything.
That even turns the tide of the battle, because otherwise they're going to have to break Chrome out. But since Chrome got out, they could just go for the true objective, which we all know is the mystery revival fluid.
Now you read the manga before watching this, right? You read this part when the part where Chrome was escaping, and he was at the waterfall, and Yo was following him. Did you actually believe he had the sickness, or did you believe it was the berries too, like I did, like the first time?
I thought it was the berries.
I figured it was the berries too.
I didn't figure it was the berries. I knew he didn't have the sickness. I knew this was Chrome coming up with something, but I'd forgotten about the berries and like the leaves and stuff. But I knew he wasn't truly sick. I figured that was just a bluff to get away.
Yeah, I did. I knew it. I know he wasn't actually sick either. I could tell because I remember they showed the berries, and I'm like, that blood looks really discolored for blood too. Well, then, in the anime, it was like darker red than blood. Yeah. It's like more like a bright red. So, but yeah, Chrome, that whole episode, that was his episode. He deserved it. I'm so happy. He's still definitely my favorite character. I mean, obviously Senku is the best character in the show still. I know I said that in the first season, and I can remember that because I said it so many times. Senku really carries the show. I'm going to say for season 2, he doesn't carry the show. I mean, he still does a lot, obviously, but I feel like it's a teamwork collaborative between a lot of characters for season 2 that really make this season for me. But Chrome in that episode where he escaped was really, really good.
Yeah, I think the moment for a fact that I didn't have any doubt whatsoever that he wasn't sick, because when he blew the blood into Yo's face, I'm like, Chrome doesn't want people dead. He wouldn't have just blown pneumonia onto somebody and been like, okay, bye, you're gonna die now. Like that should have been the moment where if anyone was even like curious about it, he would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah. So that is the main little gist. So
all the other characters are still the same. I still like Gen, Kinro and Ginro are still, they're there. Magma became a little bit more likable, I'll say. Although every single time he appeared, he's like, all right, we're gonna kill them. All we have to do is kill them. Let's destroy them. I'm like, yo, chill. Like, chill, dude, chill. I know it's a war, but chill.
I mean, this was the first time he wasn't just always trying to butt heads with Senku all the time. Like, he finally was just kind of like, all right, cool. We're going to need you to win this thing. So just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. It was the first time he was like, because even when he goes with them to, like get the rocks and stuff, he's begrudgingly doing it and just complaining the whole way. And then they think he's going to kill us when he really wasn't going to try to kill them. But this is the first time that he kind of just didn't fight over what needed to be done. He just did it. But yeah, then it's like, cool, we got him. Now let's kill him. No, remember, we're not shedding any blood. We should just kill him and be done with it. But he was a lot more agreeable, I guess is the best way to use it.
Yes, agreeable. It's still like, I want to kill everything, but I'm more agreeable, I'd say. I really like the inventions they made. Like the tank was really cool.
The steam gorilla.
Steam monkey.
I think one of my favorite things about that is just at the end of the battle, you have like Kaseki like crying that it like fell in the hole or whatever, and he was like, "No, my baby, my steam gorilla." It's like,
My gorilla,
yeah,
no. Yeah. But yeah, all the characters are pretty the same. Much. We could talk about Taiju and Yuzuriha more.
yeah. I put them on
I
the list.
am Senku.
I mean, I feel like if we feel like we're going long on time, we can probably skip them. But if we feel like we can,
Coming from the
we'll
person who
throw
said
them
we
in.
don't know how we're gonna fill an hour.
I mean, who knows? We might.
Now
We'll
you're
see.
worried we're gonna go over time?
No, I'm
make
just
up your
saying.
mind.
I'm just covering my bases, okay?
Well, I hope you cover third base.
All right. Well,
Well, we should get into the new characters of, and we mostly are going to be talking about the characters in Tsukasa's Empire because even though they kind of get like half the spotlight of like the Kingdom of Science people do. So who should we start with, buddy?
Let's start with Nikki. She's one of the first ones we're introduced to, I believe.
Nikki Hanada. She is a character.
Yeah, so Nikki was pretty much assigned to be like a guard with Taiju and Yuzuriha, supposed to kind of like spy on what they're doing, stay with them all the time. Because even though Senku is supposed to be dead, we know Tsukasa knows Senku isn't really dead and wants to make sure that Taiju and Yuzuriha aren't like betraying them or know that he's still technically alive. She's kind of there to watch over them, but she is also someone who they're able to trick into joining the Kingdom of Science to kind of let them help prepare for the war a little bit better.
But she doesn't really get tricked per se. They think.
Well, no, she calls them out on it, but the goal is to trick her.
I was
but she
sweating
figures
so
it out.
hard. And honestly, I really like Nikki's character because it kind of shows. And I just want to say this for like a lot of the characters in the show, but like there's really no like trust for Tsukasa because literally with Gen, Nikki, later with Ukyo as well, like all it takes is like a simple word to like get him to defect from Tsukasa's empire. For Gen it was a cola, for Nikki it was music, for Ukyo it was just like a promise. That's it.
I could say you could argue Ukyo's was more because Ukyo didn't want any blood to be spilled.
I'll get into that more. Yeah. I really like that moment really like made me like Ukyo, and I'll talk about when we talk about his character. But yeah, Nikki's pretty cool. She comes out like first she's like me. She's like, don't talk to me. I don't want to be friends with you. Don't even like talk to me at all. I'll punch you. And she's literally like every time Taiju talks, she literally like punches him in the face like every single time. Like Jesus, calm down, lady. I'm like okay, but you know Taiju's the idiot. He doesn't care. It's like you gotta listen. And then the thing with the music, which was really beautiful, it goes to show music really is powerful, and it can save people's lives.
But they both got lucky and unlucky that the first person they play the music to just happens to be one of the biggest Lillian Weinberg fans, who is the one person who is still alive to record a CD. When all this went down, it's like, how lucky did you get? Which granted, it's the writer, and the writer's like, I'm gonna make it happen this way. But yeah, just that was a curse and a blessing because it was a blessing because she loves that song and knows the CD is definitely Lillian, but it's also fake because she also knows Gen is just trying to impersonate her and not doing, while he's doing a good job, he's not doing a terrific job. But yeah, I think my favorite part with her was she's like, if I find out you all are just playing with me, someone imitating her voice, I'll kill all of you all, or I'm gonna punch all of you all, and they all are just like immediately like get freaked out.
Oh crap, we're done for.
Yeah, they're like shit, we're dead. But yeah, it was, but then she ends up like changing her mind, and as long as Senku will protect the CD so she can keep listening to it, she'll help Gen get better at the voice to help trick more people into joining the Kingdom of Science.
And it works, and it's good. So yeah, it is lucky and unlucky they got her first. It's just really funny because you don't really expect it. It says it's like Gen says, Senku, you're really unlucky with a lot of things in the beginning. Despite how smart you are, his luck is like pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh geez.
I do feel like Nikki's also one of the stronger villagers. Like she's got some muscle to her. I mean, she's shown like punching people all the time. I feel like she definitely. I mean,
she knows
she's
judo.
In Tsukasa's a lot. Yeah.
Apparently, she knows judo.
I was reading the wiki, and apparently she acts as like the disciplinarian for the Kingdom of Science. She's apparently the one keeping all the crazy people in line.
Apparently, one of her mental abilities is Lillian Weinberg trivia.
I mean, sure.
Oh, they have a stat thing on the wiki pages
Oh,
for the
nice.
characters. Oh, her
Power is
is 4
B,
out of
speed is C.
technique is
Ooh.
D. Technique according to volume 8, which is in the middle of the war.
Yeah, I wish we got a little more about her backstory here because like we saw some flashbacks and it looked interesting, but they didn't really elaborate on it.
Personally, I felt like they didn't really. That's the thing I like about the show, actually. I liked it with season 1 too. They don't really have to elaborate with the backstory. They could just show a picture, or like a few pictures, and that really you can just read from the picture like a character's past. It's the same with Ukyo too. I'll get into Ukyo's too, but I feel like what I really like about this is they don't have to spend so much time on the backstories. They could just flash a picture, and then you can understand their troubles, their sorrows, their backstories, and everything.
Yeah, and I think really the only thing we really got with hers is when she was talking about why she liked Lillian so much. Was talking about that her music was always like her go-to to help her out of like tough situations or tough spots. But it took me a little bit to figure out kind of what was going on there with her backstory. But because I was like, was she being bullied? Was she like, did she fall into a bad crowd? It was doing more of like kind of like a gang type thing. Like it took me a little bit to figure it out. But it didn't matter because Lillian was the music that helped calm her down and get her back into a good spot. So
apparently she had a cameo in episode 16 of the first season.
Yeah, I think she did.
I wouldn't know because I didn't recognize the characters, but you'd probably recognize them. There was something I was going to say that I liked about her, like a funny moment, but I forgot what it was. No, it'll come back to me, I guess. Okay, well, yeah, they didn't really show much about Nikki though either. It was just like that moment, and then the moment where they were showing recruiting people to Senku's side, and then the moment like at the end where they're like near the Cave of Miracles.
And then yeah, like we had the flashbacks where we saw her like in the real world. But yeah, that was really it.
I'm looking forward to because apparently she does join Senku's kingdom like officially, and I'm sure they'll show more of her later in the show or in the series. You probably know a lot more of her than I do. But
I'm not too much further than the show, so I don't know a whole lot more about her.
But for what I've seen, I'm excited to know more about this character. I think she's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is Nikki. Do we want to talk about Ukyo next? We've brought him up a lot.
Yes, we do.
All righty. Ukyo
I'd be upset if we
Saionji.
Ukyo Saionji is one of the best. He's one of the. Oh no, that's a spoiler. He is one of the three big people in Tsukasa's empire. It's him, Hyoga, and Tsukasa himself. They're all like the big three, and he's good because he has like really great, exceptional hearing. Some of the really great hearing. That's because before he got before in the world before it turned to stone, he worked for the Navy. And he like did the sonar things and like the
he was in the submarine listening on the sonar for like missiles and torpedoes and stuff.
Yeah. And he's a really good character. He's honestly probably my favorite character from the new season, I'm going to admit. Oh, that's a really good picture of him. I'm looking at the colored manga thing in his page. That looks really good. Yeah. But I really like him. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Ukyo before I get into him, Falcon?
Oh, yeah. So he's got the good hearing. He's kind of like the lookout, kind of the scout for the Tsukasa's empire. We first run into him when Chrome, Magma, and Gen are trying to run away after leaving the cell phone for Taiju and Yuzuriha to find. And not only that, he's a great kind of like hunter as well. He purposely like lures them into this area where it's nothing but bushes, so he's going to hear them no matter where they try to run because he'll hear the bushes rattling. But yeah, otherwise, his whole thing really is he doesn't really side with Tsukasa because he wants to. He's siding with Tsukasa really because I guess really just because he was revived by Tsukasa really. But he doesn't like people dying. He doesn't want any blood to be shed. He feels everyone needs to be able to survive and live. So he ends up deflecting when Senku makes him a promise that his plan is to win this war without anybody dying, without any blood being spilled. He tells Senku as long as he sticks to that, they won't have any issue, and he'll help Senku out no problem.
And he's the only one who ends up bleeding.
Tsukasa does technically at the end too, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's like after the war is over when they call.
But also, he didn't die. He got hit, but he wasn't like mortally wounded or anything.
Yeah. So here's my thought process. I don't know why. So I thought if they're on Tsukasa's side, they must be bad guys because obviously here's Tsukasa, here's his people, they're the bad guys. It didn't hit me with Nikki because I assumed Nikki would be easily thing, but when it hit me with Ukyo, I'm like, you know what? Just because they're on Tsukasa's side doesn't mean they're bad people, you know? They were talking to Ukyo. It was the scene you talked about where it was again trying to be Lillian, and Ukyo overhears it, and they go. And before all this, you could tell that something was sus because Chrome was thinking, hey, he didn't tell them about the cell phone because he obviously heard about it, like heard them in like the cemetery area for where Senku's grave was. And he didn't mention that to Tsukasa or Hyoga. So Chrome had his suspicions, which means us, the viewers, had our suspicion as well about him. Like, what's he doing? Is he gonna like betray Tsukasa or anything? And then he talked to Gen over the phone. Obviously, found out that he wasn't Lillian because of his amazing hearing. And then obviously, as you said, he does the promise where he wants Senku to not kill anybody and he'll work with him, not join his side, but work with him. And then they show the flashback, right? Obviously, and in the opening, I watched the opening every single time. It shows him in a marine ship,
in a
right?
submarine with the sonar headphones on. Yeah.
So when I figured out that he was a part of like the army and the navy, I figured, oh, he must like just really hate war and just want to like kill everybody because of his hatred of people and stuff. You know, there are people like that in wars who end up like that. But then they showed the scene. They showed his back. This is again what I said with like that one picture that just explains everything, and you can get so much feeling from it. It was a scene of him looking at the wreckage, and there was like children and people, and they were all sad. He's like, and then he's like, I don't want to see people like that. Like really, like it's not fair. And the fact that he saw Tsukasa like destroying innocent people's statues and stuff, it really hurt him.
Yeah,
and that's why he wanted to side with Senku. I just really like. That's why I really like him because of like. He barely did anything yet. Just that one image, and I immediately like him. That's just what's so good about this series. You can really like love a character just from like one image. It's pretty good.
All right. Anything else we want to say about Ukyo?
He is. He's short. I like his design.
Yeah, he's got a cool outfit.
I really hope. I really hope he does a lot in the future of the show, which it looks like he does. Because apparently, so his stats are. Let's look at his stats real quick. Power is D, speed is C, but his technique and his reach are A, which is a lot. It's pretty good in my opinion. Do you like Ukyo Falcon?
Yeah, no, I do. I really like Ukyo. He's one of my favorites. I don't know if he would be my absolute favorite, but he's at least one of them.
He is my absolute favorite, considering just from the season 2. My favorite character from the anime is still obviously Chrome. I don't know why Chrome. How dare they do that?
It makes sense if you were playing Fire Emblem earlier, but we were playing Pokemon earlier, so you know.
I mean, other than that one scene, he didn't really do much. I mean, he kind of just hears where everyone is. He's kind of like the lookout. So I guess that's like a good role. But I want to see him fight more, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully we get that in the future.
I think he would have fought more if he didn't take like the bullet for was it Senku that he jumped in front of, I think.
I didn't know he got jumped. I didn't think he jumped in front of anyone. I thought he just got hit because of how fast Hyoga and Tsukasa were coming over there.
No, because they were going to attack somebody and he jumped in the way, is what I remember.
I must have missed that.
Because he was in one of the trees, and then when he saw them coming, he heard them coming and he started running off to try to warn them or whatever, and they bust through and he got hit, took the hit. Yeah, so he jumped in the way. But yeah, that's really it for Ukyo, I guess.
I really like him. I really liked his arc, or like his character. I'm excited to see more about him. Who's next on our list, Falcon?
Let's talk about Homura next.
Oh, we're gonna talk about this person.
Yeah, so Homura was introduced technically at the very end of season 1. She's the pink-haired girl with the pink dress who goes to set the village on fire at the festivities when we first meet Hyoga. She is essentially been assigned to spy on the Kingdom of Science and see what they're up to and report anything unusual to Tsukasa immediately. So throughout all of season 2, we know she's kind of like lurking in the woods, but we don't know exactly where. Well, I'll take that back.
Kohaku knows.
Kohaku knows. She can tell. She's like, yeah, she's in that tree over there. And they're like, how can you see? It's like, well, there's no snow on that tree, but they're still impressed she can see the tree that's like 30 meters away or whatever. Yeah, she's the one in the end of the first season that Senku leaves cotton candy for.
Which they never really go back on that. They never show her eating it, I think. That's kind of sad.
They only show her eating it, I think, like in the opening of season 1, the second opening.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like making the wine and stuff, and you see her sitting in the tree, and she like takes the bite of it. But other than that, yeah, she's there. But they end up, they know they have to get past her to start making their assault onto Tsukasa's kingdom.
So she's like the really
ready. Mm-hmm.
She's like the first big barricade. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a diversion, which, if I'm correct, it was Chrome. Was it Magma? No, it wasn't Magma.
What do you Chrome, Magma, and Gen were trying to get the cell phone? To
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, but for some reason I was thinking it was earlier than that they did it, because they had the thing where Senku sends the flare to like blind her and they captured her. I was thinking that was before they left to go do that, but maybe I'm just getting it wrong.
Basically, they had a tactic to get her, but Senku tried to attack her, but obviously Senku's weak, and Homer remembered that. But luckily, Senku, obviously, as the smartest character, left a trace on her to track her. But she found that out, so they kept going in the direction. But then they were communicating with the
that's right.
With Gen's team to talk about her, and then they baited her and they tricked her.
Yeah, and then
which was really smart.
She realized she got tricked. She realized the other three were going, and she took after. That's right.
I think
I had it mixed up in my head. I apologize.
They knocked down a tree on her.
Yeah. They end up finally catching her due to teamwork. And
they didn't knock down a tree on her. They knocked down the tree she was on, and then Kohaku caught her.
Yeah. But she's pretty much locked up in like a cell for the most part of it. But she does break out at the end to do some things, which I guess we won't talk too much about. But
I guess she's also another girl that doesn't have blonde hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was a gymnast in the world before it got turned to stone.
This is why she's so agile.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And she's also Yoga's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's pretty much her. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really worth noting.
Someone's listening to music.
No, it's just in my head.
Oh, cool. I'm actually listening to it right now.
Oh.
Like, how did he know I was listening to that?
I mean, after last week, I'm just going to assume.
Well, while you're thinking of other things, her stats is her power is a D, her speed and her technique is an A, and her reach is an E. So, yeah, her power is pretty bad. But that too, which is still strong, I wouldn't be surprised if Senku's was a 0. Actually, I actually want to check that real quick.
Yeah. Otherwise, no. I guess
that much screen time either. The problem with it's not really a problem, but the thing with this show is because there's so many characters, it's really hard to give a character like a moment.
Mm-hmm. Or they'll get like that one moment, but then that's pretty much their moment. Oh yeah. And they go back to being in the background. Yeah, Homer's cool. She does some stuff that we won't talk about because it's very. Even though we said this will have spoilers in it, I feel like I'd rather save that sort of thing for when we're actually talking about like moments instead of just her character. So I'll wait and maybe
I've been kind of just talking about moments. Well, we're talking about moments, but we can still mention our favorite moments out of them all at the end.
Yeah. But I guess the only other thing she's really known for is at the end she ends up getting broken out of the prison she's in, and she goes to destroy the cave with all the miracle fluid. But that's really all she does in this season.
Yeah, she does because she gets like caught, so that's why she doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
And then the worst character in the show, Freezer, which I hate.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about worst character in the show?
The worst character of the show.
All right.
I did not like at all.
I don't dislike him that much, but I understand where you're coming from. This is Yo Ue. Do you want to tell us about your least favorite character?
Do I want to tell you about my least favorite character?
Yeah.
Well, his name is Yo Ue. He used to be a police officer before he got petrified. He was the worst police officer ever. They showed his backstory, and I'm just like, what the heck am I watching?
Yeah.
He's the bad guy. I'm supposed to kill him, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm just like, what is this guy, an idiot?
He seems like he's the guy who became a cop because he just wanted to like kill all the bad guys in the world.
Yeah. So he has orange hair. He believes he is as strong as Tsukasa, Ukyo, and Hyoga. He wants to believe that he's like telling us one to underlings, like, you know it's actually 4, right? I'm the 4th one. And he's like the type of guy who'll just like suck up to the higher ups. And if he doesn't, he's like, oh hey, I'm just gonna go kill myself. Goodbye, guys.
Yeah, he is viewed as the reason that Chrome was able to escape jail because it was supposed to be on his watch. And if he would have actually been there watching, Chrome probably wouldn't have gotten out. But he doesn't want to tell that to Tsukasa because he's convinced Tsukasa will kill him. So he fakes dead and just like leaves, saying he's gonna like start a new life or whatever. But I do like his character design. I like that he wears like the mask that was over his eye when he was petrified.
I did like that. And then he took it off, and I'm like, oh, okay, now he's lame again.
Yeah, like I thought he had some coolness to him. I like that he was utterly just ridiculous at times.
Yeah, the ridiculousness kind of ruined it for me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's like he had like bipolar or something. It's like he was bipolar.
Yeah, or he was just extremely emotional. But yeah, he's the one who Chrome tricks by saying he has pneumonia, and he blows his pneumonia blood in his face, and he freaks out and runs away, which is how Chrome ends up just, escaping.
I will say his anime design is a lot better than his manga design, in my opinion, at least from the pictures on the Wikia.
I don't remember what his manga looks like. Let me see.
You can just click it.
I mean, it's pretty much the same. Just seeing all the colors makes it better.
No, the hair looks different. I think I just like the hair in the anime more.
It just looks like it's a little bit more of it.
Yeah. His eye color is dark brown. Wow.
Wow.
But his stats is his power is a C, his speed is a B, his technique is an A, and his reach is an E. So his technique is literally the best thing about him. Oh boy. Both parts of Yo Ue's names are used as interjections. Yo for when trying to get someone's attention, and Ue when surprised. Though neither are limited to these situations, the character Yo uses both frequently.
Cool. I do like that he uses Tonfa. Tonfa are underused weapons in shows, so I do like that about him as well. But otherwise, he's kind of just like the crazy, unpredictable kind of like anime villain, I guess.
In the anime, Yo is apparently revived thanks to Minami recognizing him as a crazy, strong police officer who won the baton category at a police competition. He was also given a small crush on her. Oh, so that must be an anime exclusive thing if it's mentioning in the anime.
Gotcha.
That is so cool.
He also was peeing at the time of petrification, supposedly. So,
He was what?
He was supposedly.
Oh, yeah, he did say that in the anime. He's like, oh, I was peeing when I was getting petrified, man.
Yeah, I just lost it, but I was on the wiki, and it said it's not technically known what he was doing when he was petrified, but they assume he was on the street since he lost his job. Then it says he was publicly peeing. So it's like, I guess the hint later that might not actually be true of how they found him, but that would be an odd way to be petrified. Like, I'm just going to pee on the streets.
Then he would have his genitalia out when they revived him. I don't think they would show that though. So
yeah.
Aye.
I mean, they're very tasteful about it, how they like have the statues and whatnot.
Oh, I've already mentioned I hate Yo. What do you think about Yo Falcon?
He's fine. I don't hate him. He's just kind of there. Otherwise, like there's bits about him that I like. I like that he's super gullible and like easy to like get riled up. But otherwise, he's just there to be an obstacle that was beaten fairly simply. Well,
I wouldn't say fairly.
Seems to be fairly simply.
If Crom didn't do the thing with the berries,
yeah, if he didn't have the herbs that he gathered,
I honestly thought Crom was gonna jump down.
Yeah, I mean, also there's a pool of water, so if he would have jumped out far enough, he would have gotten hurt, but he wouldn't have like died.
Yeah,
but yeah,
would have been cooler.
Yeah, but I guess that's about all. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that he just fakes pneumonia. He's like, yeah, I've got pneumonia. You all don't have medicine for it. You're screwed, man.
Yeah, you get out of here, guy. I'm just gonna go goodbye.
That's the cooler, like brainy way instead of just being like, like if it was Taiju would have just jumped off and hoped he landed in the water. But I feel like it fit Chrome a lot better.
It did fit Chrome a lot better
to just be like, hey, look, I got pneumonia. I'm dead anyway. Why don't you just leave? I don't want to get you all, but yeah, I thought it was more fun. He kind of did he did a science move, but he also took like manipulation techniques he learned from Gen to try to like trick him, which is a good thing that Yo is easy to influence, it seems. But yeah, we should be done with him.
He does look like he joins Senku's army, his kingdom of science. So
he probably hangs around, but is probably not like officially a member.
I don't know. The wiki says he is.
Really? Because the wiki here says he then eventually joins the Kingdom of Science after the Stone Wars are over.
Yeah, he joins the Kingdom of Science.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
I thought you said it sounded like he didn't join, and no, I was like, "What?"
I said it looks like he does join.
Oh, okay.
You misheard me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm like, what wiki are you looking at? Also, there's another fun fact about him, but I don't want to mention it because it's a spoiler.
Okay. Let's see. So
who is our next character?
Let's just go and talk about Hyoga.
Hyoga! He doesn't even have a last name, I just realized. Or does he? Let's actually check the wiki.
Well, on the wiki.
Nope,
just Hyoga.
He is one of the big bads of Tsukasa's army.
Mm-hmm.
Tsukasa Empire. That's right.
He's like the main like fighter of the group, I guess. Where Tsukasa's more like the leader, but he's still really strong. Hyoga is very strong, but he's more, I guess, just the fighter and to kind of be one of his Tsukasa's right hand men.
That's right. Now, this guy, he's like a ninja. He looks like a ninja at least. Super ninja. Yeah, kind of. He uses a spear. That's pretty cool.
And he likes to spin it around before he pokes people with it.
I'm not sure if we mentioned him in our first thing.
I don't think we did.
But he basically attacked Senku's village in the season 1 with Homer and some other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And things went a little bad, but they managed to chase him away.
Mm-hmm.
But in this season, Hyoga's well, I guess it's kind of hinted. It is. I mean, thinking back on it after I watched it, it's kind of hinted. It's like, oh, you gotta watch out for Hyoga. He might be even worse than Tsukasa.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his stats prove it. His stats are power C, speed, technique, and reach are all A. So he's almost maxed out on his stats.
That's true. What's Tsukasa's stats actually?
I can bring that up.
Not if I bring it up first.
Oh, I'm already on the page. I'm scrolling down.
Scrolling. Oh, they don't show it.
What? Boo.
Lame.
Come on, people.
They didn't show Senku's either, so that's why I didn't mention it.
Oh.
So many arcs. Wow. But yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, except he's a bad guy, so he's not cool. I lied.
Yeah. But otherwise, I feel like we don't really know his backstory at all. We just know that he very much wants to, he doesn't care about killing people to make the world what he wants to be or whatever. He disagrees with Tsukasa, where Tsukasa wants to give like the younger generation a chance to run the world since he doesn't feel the world can support all 7 billion people. Hyoga disagrees. He thinks they need like a lot of the older people around because they have more experience and would know how to handle things more appropriately, I guess, is a good way of phrasing it. But he doesn't care about just killing people off to kill people off. He just basically wants to remain the strongest. That's why he doesn't want Senku and everybody to like revive everybody, because then he won't be the strongest, because obviously the people will make like missiles and rocket launchers, and obviously a human body can't withstand something like that. So that's why he wanted to be the strongest. Mm-hmm.
I like the final fight between him and Senku and Tsukasa. That was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was great that the episode was called History of the World? History's greatest tag team, or the world's greatest tag team. I'm actually gonna look that up real quick.
No problem.
I liked how they defeated him too.
Yeah, I liked the tag team of how they had to get rid of him. I don't like where his cracks are on his face. I don't like that it's like the weird like 3 circles like on his chin.
Honestly, when they showed that in the opening, I honestly thought that like it was going to be like a new character they were going to introduce or something. And then they showed him at the end after Senku shot through the paper thing.
Yeah.
And he took down his mask and they showed the thing. And I'm like, oh, he's going to be the big bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that was like near the end. But still. Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's not much to say about him. He just wants to be the strongest. he disagrees with both Senku and Tsukasa, so he wants them out of the way so that people have to be forced to follow him.
Oh, looks like I was wrong. It's called Humanity's Strongest Tag Team.
You were close though.
I was
So
close.
good job.
History, the world, I guess, kind of close. If you want to be true.
Yeah, I do think probably my favorite Hyoga moment was when he goes to attack Taiju and Taiju blocks his attack with this shield. And he's like, huh, I broke your spear. A lot of good you are. And he's like, yo, I need my backup spear. And just has like one of the other guys like hand him a second spear. And he's like, you thought I only had one spear? Like, wow, Taiju. It was like, come on. But I thought that was funny.
Oh, this is cool.
Taiju's like, haha, your spear is gone. I win. It's like,
it looks like if you go between every episode, it shows the like what new inventions are made. So like in episode 34, it shows that they made a taser.
Nice.
That's actually really cool. So I guess if you wanted to go between episodes, you could find like which is made and everything.
Yeah.
But that's pretty neat.
Yeah, pretty neat.
But Hyoga was a good villain, I'll say. I think he was a pretty good bad guy. As like a surprise antagonist.
Yeah.
Because obviously people going to
You muted yourself.
I cannot wait. I noticed. I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see Senku versus Tsukasa, and like, oh, it's gonna be so good. Who's gonna win? And then it never happens.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think they handled like the when they met again really well. I feel like the moment when it all happened, it all went down was really good because it showed Taiju's like, Senku, don't do it. You're gonna die like last time. And then he's like, are you joking, you idiot? Yeah. Look around you. We're surrounded by friends. And everyone's like, yeah, we're not going to let Senku die. We're the kingdom of science. We're his friends. We're never going to let him die no matter what. And honestly, in that moment, they could have lost really badly. I'm honestly like, how the heck are they going to get over this? Because they had literally Hyoga and Tsukasa both there. Senku is so smart. And it wasn't just Senku. It was Senku, Chrome, and Gen. All three of them together, honestly, that really like made it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. That's why Chrome is best. So, because the Senku's like smart, but Chrome is like smart too, not as smart as Senku, but he's like good at gathering. That's his thing. He's good at gathering materials.
Yeah, I mean, he even says my science starts with gathering. So he looks for what he can get first, and then he and Senku decide what they can do with it.
That's how he was able to escape jail. That's how he was able to make the paper bombs. That's how they would do everything, because he was able to look around him and gather. I honestly did not think that he was going to get the thing up in the first shot they shot from the tank. That was smart. I would not even think to use that. I would be panicking the whole time.
Yeah.
Good on Chrome for remembering that, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. That's why Chrome is the best character.
All right. So the only one we said we were going to definitely talk about was Tsukasa.
Yes. So I think we definitely mentioned Tsukasa in the first one, but now that we gotten more about him, let's talk about our boy.
Yeah. Tsukasa. Leader of the Tsukasa kingdom, Tsukasa Shishio. He's the bad guy, or the bad guy. He disagrees with Senku. The Stone Wars is his army versus Senku's army of science, and things happen. We pretty much talked about it last time. He very much wants the younger group to run the world. He thinks the adults are going to have their chance, and they didn't really make a terrific world. So he's hoping that if he revives more of the younger people, one, the world can sustain them better, and two, they'll be able to hopefully have a better world than what the adults made at the time. Since they were subject to all like more, I guess, the more downsides of that world, they have a different way of thinking about it. And he doesn't want Senku to use too much science because he feels like with that, it'll either deplete the resources faster and it'll take some strength away from him trying to accomplish his goals. What he even says in here, I don't outright shun science. He's just wanting it to live a more natural life so that they can keep the world going longer.
Yeah, he mentions that when they are talking to when they captured Chrome. He's like, yeah, I don't really hate science. We use a little bit of science here in our here too, but like I just don't like what Senku's doing, and I just don't want it to happen. But then you find out the reasoning, and honestly, I'd say it kind of humanizes him a little bit. I still think what he did was uncalled for, but then he had the scene where he's like, yeah, I regret it. I hated doing it.
He kind of comes around and realizes he wasn't necessarily on the right train of thought. Not that it was necessarily a wrong train of thought, because I also understand from his view, he even says like, I'm only picking and choosing the people who I think can help. You know, like we have to be selective here. And he even says we can't revive everybody or the planet can't sustain it in this state. Therefore, I'm gonna be if I have to be the one who picks and chooses who gets to live, so be it. I'll do it. Like he doesn't really want to do it, but he thinks that's something that has to happen for the betterment of the world. Essentially,
honestly, Tsukasa could have been the main character just as well as
he could have.
Just as well as Senku could have been I feel like it would have been a whole different anime. I feel like it would have still been a good anime, even if he was the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'd love to see like a what if story if Tsukasa was the first one to be awoken. And honestly, would like to see what would happen, even though we could kind of see it like in a bad way. If Tsukasa didn't have like an antagonist like Senku, and I wonder how it would go. It's interesting.
That'd be interesting.
But he'd probably never get his sister revived. But yeah, basically the big thing that Tsukasa was the reason why he hates adults and everything is because his sister was what did she have, a brain tumor?
I don't think it was a tumor. She was like clinically brain dead. So like her brain wasn't technically dead and she wasn't like just dead, but she wasn't having like any brain function really going on other than to like keep her body alive.
Yeah, so Tsukasa one day as a kid was gathering up seashells on the beach, and this really mean adult said, "Ha! What are you doing? You can't do that, you stupid kid! Get off of my damn beach!" And Tsukasa just started hating adults at that point. Which honestly, I don't blame him, because honestly, we have a kid who's just trying to do something for his sister.
Yeah, I mean, it was clear the guy who was like beating him up was like drunk and stuff. But yeah, he was just like, "Oh kid, what are you doing out here? Why are you grabbing those? Don't do that!" Like just starts like beating the shit out of him for no reason. Like just a kid picking up shells because his sister likes seashells. I'm pulling up Mirai's page to see if it says exactly what happened to her.
But basically, while he's doing that, when Senku realizes that, Senku tells the truth and says that, I'll help you revive your sister, but and it might like cure her to be like 100% better. But if it doesn't work, and it might not work, just to let you know, but Tsukasa takes that risk anyway, and it does pay off. It does work, because our boy Senku's like, everyone's gonna freaking survive, no one dies.
Yeah,
and that's just really awesome.
I can confirm she was clinically brain dead due to a car accident, and that's the whole reason Tsukasa even starts fighting, because even as a kid he starts fighting to pay her medical bills. Like he even took the family life where he goes home and like parents are just drinking in front of the TV and not paying any attention to anything. So he kind of takes it upon himself to kind of make sure she stays alive in the hospital and all of that.
Yep, that's why he started like becoming the ultimate primate. I keep getting confused with
World's Strongest Primate.
The title is almost similar to Danganronpa's title.
Yeah, instead of the High School Ultimate, it's World's Strongest.
It's the World's Strongest High School Ultimate Primate. I don't know, but he went into like fighting rings and like fought to get money, and he did anything he could. So that's pretty cool. It humanized him a lot. I mean, I know they kind of showed something like that at the beginning of season 1, but I'm sure you'd probably forget it through like all the science and Senku making his army. So he's not really the bad guy. That's why I say Hyoga is more of the bad guy of this season than Tsukasa is really.
Yeah. I mean, he really wasn't really the bad guy. He and Senku just had major differences on how the world should be run. And so they both tried doing their own thing. But once they can kind of prove that they can kind of like work together and they're not out to just like get each other, they can kind of cooperate somewhat, essentially.
That's why they're humanity's strongest tag team. The strongest man and the smartest man together. Literally nothing could stop them.
And I do appreciate that even though they've come to like an understanding, he still doesn't agree that Senku's way is still really the right way. But like when they're fighting Hyoga, he's like, this doesn't mean that like I'm joining your side or think you're correct. I still think what I'm doing is the best way to go about it. But it's like, this guy is clearly the issue. Let's take him out. So they work together. I mean, I really like him. He has a lot more depth than a lot of the other characters, but I feel like he kind of is a character that kind of has to have it, being like the main antagonist for the first little bit.
I really the last episode was really heartbreaking. I didn't tear up or cry, but it was really heartbreaking. I mean, I guess we should mention what happens at the end to leave a little surprise for the viewers, but it was just really heartbreaking that like the conversation they had at the end. And Senku's just talking about Super Mario. I'm like, oh, okay, you gamer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Super Mario eats these shrooms, and I'm like, ha 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 ha. But yeah, I like Tsukasa definitely more after this. I'm excited to see more about him. I know we'll definitely see more from him, obviously, because he's such a big character. So yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
God, I just wish that this manga wasn't so sciencey, because I love it. I'm not saying I hate the science part. I really like the science parts, but
No,
it's
I
just
get it.
hard for me to understand. I know I said it too. I'm saying it to the viewers, and the listeners that basically I really don't like how I just not really. It's like this my problem with Death Note. There's so much like big things happening, and my small tiny brain doesn't follow it. But I'm gonna get now that I've watched this, I'll probably just start right after the Stone War arc. If I'm to read the manga, maybe I'll do that tonight. I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. But I guess that's all the characters. Do we want to briefly touch up on Taiju and Yuzuriha or no?
We can. So we get more about them, of course. We can do Taiju first, because Taiju's the one who, while he still does stuff.
So I know I said I really liked what I saw from them in the beginning on the first podcast we did. I'm glad to say that my thoughts were very good because I really love Taiju. I really love Yuzuriha. I love them both. They're such good characters, in my opinion. Obviously, the same thing is like there's so many characters to talk about. I think that's gonna be like the main problem with this show as it goes on because it looks like the characters just keep expanding. So obviously, it's gonna be hard to like give attention to every single character. But there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like they still handle it. I feel like they handle it pretty well. Not as good as say, actually, I'm gonna say they probably handle it a lot better than My Hero does. In a different sense. In a different sense. Each has their own way of doing it. But Taiju, if you don't remember him, he's Senku's friend.
The massively endurance one.
The anime tricks you to think he's gonna be the main character, but he's not.
Well, they did that with the manga too. They start off with the first several chapters being from his perspective until they really get to Senku.
Yes, but like still, I like how they did that. It wasn't necessary, but it was nice. But he basically, after what happens with Senku dying to Tsukasa, Taiju and Yuzuri had joined Tsukasa's army to like lay low and survive and stuff. So technically they are members of Tsukasa's empire in a sense. He doesn't have any stat things, but
no. He pretty much he's all endurance. He can take a hit and just stand there no problem. That's why he does a lot of like the more like laborer work. He does like the farming and the gathering and the carrying and all of that.
Yes. He is, but he's also like a part of the combat team as well. Whenever they join, like during the big fight by the cave when they were using the thing to like the sound waves, that was really cool. And like I'm like, oh crap, what's gonna happen? They broke the sack, so he literally just screams into the dish.
Yeah, they broke the bomb part of it, so he literally just like has Nikki hold it and he just like yells into it or whatever.
It was pretty smart.
Yeah. He's really not that bright, but he can do simple things and he does them well.
He does.
But it's also funny that he's on the fighting team whenever like people are fighting, because the whole thing in season 1 was that he would never punch anybody. He never wanted to hurt anybody, but he would take a beating for anybody. Like there's the time like you see like when he and Senku were kids and Senku is making some like experiment on the riverbank. Like these like high schoolers come to like trash Senku's machine that he built, and Taiju just stands there, won't punch them back at all, but just stands there taking every hit they throw their way. So I always find that fun, but I guess that's why they gave him the shield. They knew like he wouldn't go actually hurt anybody from Tsukasa's empire, but he would jump in front of somebody with a shield.
Yeah, that shield was basically I'd say Taiju is like the best, probably the shield of the Kingdom of Science. If you would have like an official title, if he would have an official title, Goofy. If he would have an official title, he would definitely be the shield of the Kingdom of Science. I feel like. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually call him that later on in this. That
would be fun.
That would be fun. But yeah, Taiju's definitely a good character. But now let's talk about the better.
Yuzuriha.
That's right. Yuzuriha. Yeah. God, I have to say she does look a lot better with shorter hair than longer hair.
Yeah, I agree. But I agree as well.
Basically, she also with Taiju joined Tsukasa's empire to lay low and wait for Senku to make up a plan. But Senku actually gave her a secret mission.
Yep, her secret mission is she is to find all the pieces of statues that are broken and glue them back together, because as Senku has discovered, as long as the like outside of the statue isn't tarnished, they should still be able to be revived. So if it hasn't like eroded or weathered away. So she's gluing everybody who Tsukasa has broken back together again So that way, once they have access of or control of the miracle fluid again, they can just start reviving those people as well. So that way, they don't lose anybody.
And that also the trigger for how Ukyo finds out about Senku's plan and how he like starts to make a deal with him, because he saws that, and Ukyo's like, despite what's happening right now, even though in your war, you still plan on trying to save every single person. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, Jesus, like Senku is so, God, he's like the smartest anime character I've ever seen in an anime.
Yeah, he follows Ukyo follows Yuzuriha out of the I guess the kingdom one day. She was making clothes for everybody over there,
and she did it like,
wouldn't do it there. She would go like to this little like place in the woods. He ends up following her, and he sees that she makes like all the outfits within like 5 minutes. I think one of my favorite things about her is when she's showing, she's like do 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 do, like she's just making like sound effects, and then you just see it going, and then she's like done. And he's like, what? We think it takes her all night to make these. So what's she doing? And then like you see her go, and she like pulls out the bag with all the like pieces of stone, and she's just figuring out the puzzle and putting them back together. And yeah, she's unknowingly one of the reasons why Ukyo is willing to work with Senku.
It's just crazy, honestly. That Senku would come up with such a plan. Yuzuriha was able to do that. She is in the crafts club after all, so she would be able to do it.
I mean, I think that's why he gave it to her. He knew like Taiju wouldn't be smart enough to do it with his three. Like Taiju could do like a normal puzzle. If it was just like a jigsaw puzzle, Taiju would figure it out eventually. But like a 3D puzzle where you're messing with somebody's life, no, that is not Taiju's realm. Yeah, she's good with her hand. She's not dumb. So yeah, she would go make clothing while she was secretly just restoring the statues back to how they should be.
No, I should actually ask you this, since I didn't ask you this at the beginning. But did you watch this stubbed or subbed?
I watched it subbed.
I watched it subbed too. Do you want to know Yuzuriha's sub voice?
Sure.
Kana Ichinose, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything but the fact that Ichinose is a character in Strikers, which is what you were playing on your stream.
It
#Where's Falcon.
Let's see what this girl has been up to now. I clicked on her Wikipedia link. She's in Darling in the Franxx as Ichigo.
Oh.
I've not seen that show. I've heard many different things. Boogie Pop and others. That sounds
she
like
was in Glepnir. Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
I've heard some things about that.
She was in Weathering with You as Sasaki.
Oh, Sasaki.
Sasaki.
Sasaki. Hold on. I'll find out.
Haven't you seen that movie?
I've seen it twice. That doesn't mean I remember the characters every single time.
Whoa, she was in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers as Reen.
Whoa!
I know who that is. Other Final Fantasy XIV.
All right, let's focus back on to the topic. But I guess that's a good cover of Yuzuriha. Basically, her character was more like, oh, hey, I'm going to build the statues that were dead, which is like, you would not really think that would be a thing, but it does happen.
She has the glue. She goes and she's gluing them back together.
I honestly thought as soon as Tsukasa destroyed those statues, that's it. They were dead.
Yeah,
those people were dead. But
so
no,
he found a way
because he's so smart. I guess that's all the characters that we could talk about.
Yep. So next, do you have any extra fun facts for us?
I have a popularity poll that I mentioned.
Oh.
So this isn't like an official popularity poll. I think this was taken in the Discord server of Dr. Stone. Let me double check that. It's a wiki poll from the Dr. Stone wiki.
Okay.
And there's like multiple polls. There's like, what's your favorite Kingdom of Science member? What's your favorite Ishigami village character? What's your favorite Tsukasa Kingdom? I'm going to read the Tsukasa Kingdom character ones. It's from the manga only. There's not that many votes, so I'm not going to read the votes off. But this is a very biased poll, obviously. But as I mentioned, if they're in the kingdom, Tsukasa's kingdom, then they are in it.
Okay.
First place, we have Gen. Second place, we have Ukyo. Third place, we have Tsukasa himself. Fourth place, we have Taiju. In fifth place, we have Hyoga. In sixth place, we have Yuzuriha. In seventh place, we have Homura. And in eighth place is a three-way tie between Yo, Nikki, and Minami, which is a reporter girl we didn't want to talk about.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's really it. But yeah, that's the only popularity poll I could. I think if they ever do it in the next season, and then I can mention the next popularity poll because it has more characters that
Okay.
they haven't shown yet.
Makes sense.
Okay, there's this character that got second place who's apparently must be really good if he apparently appears all of a sudden he's second place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
And Senku is always at the top of all these of these polls because Senku carries the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we can move on to the music unless there's something you want to mention, Falcon.
No, we should be good moving on to the music. So there's only one opening and one ending, I believe.
That is correct.
So,
round of applause for you.
Yay! So the opening is called Paradise by Fuji Fabric, I believe is the name.
It is Fuji Fabric because that's what I am listening to right now.
I really dig it. It's a really good one. I don't know if I like it better than any season ones. I really still dig season ones a lot, but this one is really good too.
It took me a while to like this one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like how it started, but I like how it got more like actiony as it got into it.
I can agree. At the start, I was like, but like
I
the
wasn't
second
really
half of it
it
is really, really good.
The visuals were nice for it as well, I'll say. I like how they showed Tsukasa's father and Lillian in that like one scene, even though they didn't appear at all in season 2, other than Lillian singing on the stage.
Yeah.
God, season 1 was so good too. This is such a good series.
And they had, Suika jumping off the tank.
Oh yeah.
The thing that weirded me out about that scene is you've got like I think it's Kohaku and Kaseki standing there too,
and Magma's on the
standing
side.
there not moving, and yet you see like Suika just like jump off, and then she just starts like moving, and it's weird having everybody else just static when she's just like doing this weird little movement.
Magma was on the side too of the tank. I don't know why.
Oh, it was Magma. That's right. Yeah.
It was Magma, Ruri.
Ruri, not Kohaku. That's right.
Kaseki, yeah. Kohaku was with like the people. It was nice, I guess.
Let's just say Suika is still like the MVP this season as well. Like in everything they did, like she's the one who let them know like where Chrome was and everything.
And it was thanks to Suika being there that Chrome was able to realize,
Yeah, and he was able to call it about the traps or whatever, so they knew like not to go.
It would have been a whole different war if they just attacked in the middle. Yeah.
Well, that was nice because Suika couldn't see Chrome at all, but Chrome saw Suika, so it's like, oh no! It's like he saw me. Okay, time to jet. I still just love how no one would question that there's randomly like a melon sitting like in the most random spots, but
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
I don't know. I just think it's weird, but there are some places where I'm like, why would you not question why someone just set a melon down there? And the fact that it's okay, but yeah, I always think that's weird. But it works because Suika could go stealth mode, be detective mode, I guess you could say.
And while we're on that, the ending theme is called Voice. It is sung by Voice with a question mark. The artist is Hatena. And the only character in the ending theme is Senku, which basically it's just like showing humanity growing. Then it shows Senku, and then Senku getting petrified, then Senku not getting petrified, and then him running, and then his war getup.
Yep.
It was actually a really nice ending theme, I'd say. It's pretty chill, pretty good.
It was very chill vibes ending theme, which is perfectly fine.
I'd say I'd probably watch it because I did actually really like the visuals, even if it was like plain and simple. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I'd say out of the opening and ending theme, I probably like the opening more.
You
I would agree with me? Oh,
I do agree with you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Falcon.
Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Condor.
Oh, okay.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. What should we talk about next there, buddy?
I guess I still have not been able to come up with a question. Have you been able to come up with a question today?
I haven't even thought of it.
Then we were skipping the question for the week because we've not been able to come up with really.
Here's a question. Here's a question for everybody. If you're a viewer, this is a little question for you guys. How would you guys feel if we were to not do a podcast about an anime and we did a question? If you want to hear us talk about like a specific
we've been considering it.
But if you guys want to hear us talk about a specific question, why don't you let us know in our Twitter? Plug the Twitter. Plug the social media.
You can find us on Twitter at BirdBroPod. That's where we'll be at. You can also actually comment on the video on the website, which is birdbropod.podbean.com. If you click on the episode, you can have a comment section you can put on there.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. We'll check it out.
I totally knew that.
Yeah, I bet you totally didn't.
Yeah, I didn't at all.
See, I'm telling you all these fun things.
And you can totally tell us on our YouTube when this appears on it in 2023.
2023, when Dr. Stone Wars is on the YouTube page. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Is the first Dr. Stone on the YouTube page yet? No, it's not, right?
I think we ended with March.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Or no, Gundam. We got Gundam up afterwards. Yeah, it's the Gundam one. We had the first 4. I'd almost forgotten we'd already covered Gundam. But hey, yeah.
It was your choice.
I know it was my choice. That was just months ago, okay? I've been busy. I've not been thinking about it.
Uh-oh, Falcon no thinky. Falcon do a stinky.
Yeah. Do a stink. What? What? I don't even know what's been up with you these last few days. Just saying the weirdest stuff randomly for no reason.
Hey, you agreed with me, man. I can't help it if you did a stinky, dude.
All right. I guess we'll just move on to talking strictly about favorite moments now, I guess.
All right. Well, I guess I'll mention the whole episode with Crom breaking out of prison was a pretty good highlight for the show.
Yeah, I like when Crom breaks out of prison
because it fully capitalized Crom as a character. He's still an idiot, but he's still like really smart at the same time. Or he says, I wouldn't say he's an idiot. He has idiotic tendencies.
Yeah, I mean he kind of is. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's a really light moment, but I like when they're making the first version of the Steam Gorilla tank before it's actually a tank, and it's more just like a car/wagon to carry all their supplies for them. I love how Kiseki and all the guys just keep like obsessing over it, and the girls are standing to the side and they have no idea why the guys are all into this like piece of wood with wheels. I hope that's a fun reference to the fact that most guys just like go crazy over cars and no one really knows why. Well, that was a lot of fun. And then I also pertaining to that, I like too how Gen complains about how like shaky and bumpy it is with just like the wooden tires. And he's like, well, I might even have to drive it anyway. And so just like, well, you're the only one with a driver's license. Who else is going to drive it? And he's like, yeah, but that doesn't exist here. He's like, we still have to follow all laws that exist. And it's like, that might not be a law here, but it's like, we're just, you have the driver's license. I just thought that was a fun moment. It's like, why am I doing this? You're the only one who can. Yeah.
I also like with the scene, going back to the steam engine, I liked the thing where Magma was gonna like fight it, and he loses and it says smash like it was like a My Hero reference. And
he's like, I can stop this. No piece of wood's gonna beat me. And like he stops, like, wow, he's holding it. Yeah, you just see him blasting off like Team Rocket. But that was a fun one.
It was a fun one. I will say that.
Yeah. Oh, and it was finally a moment for Magma where he wasn't just always wanting to like kill people. It's just like, I got this. You think this sciencey machine can beat me? Nah.
And then it beat him.
Yeah, beat him.
Put your head down.
They're like, you idiot, why would you stop a steam-powered car? And it's like, he doesn't know what a steam-powered car is. Like, he's never seen one before. But yeah, that was fun. I did like when they made the air tires. That was fun, but that was just interesting to see how they did it with like the leaves and stuff like that.
Even though this anime was like a war-filled, it was like technically a war. They still really did good with the sciencey parts of it too. Like,
they really did. They were really well done. Really
well done. I like the whole scene where they were defending the cave, or they were trying to get the cave. Mm-hmm. And Senku was like, it's proven that humans panic the first 20 seconds after something happens before they regain their composure.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's actually really interesting if it is true.
If it is true, that's a fun bit of science to add in there.
I don't think Senku would lie, so I'd probably believe it. I think it's
true.
I honestly love to get a science person to just watch the show and be like what they think of it.
Yeah, I feel like it makes sense because it wouldn't happen like something with like a car wreck. You see like a car is about to hit you. I feel like that first few seconds is when you're really just freaking out. So I feel like it was one of those, like, if you had more time to react, you probably would, like, handle it better.
Dude, if your favorite character isn't Mecha Senku, then are you even watching Dr. Stone properly?
Yeah, right? Mecha Senku's the best.
He doesn't appear in the manga, does he?
No, he does.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he explains sciencey bits like that, too.
Oh, cool. I assumed he just...
I'm like 90% certain. I'll Google it real quick, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing him there.
Oh, boy. But other favorite moments, I did like the final fight between Hyoga with Senku and Tsukasa. It was nice to see them work together, because honestly, in the beginning of the anime, the first season, when Tsukasa and Senku were going head to head, they showed like, oh hey, they could have been like friends, and it was nice to see that actually did go through.
Yeah, I can
So it was
confirm
really
Mecha
nice.
Senku is in there. He's in the Q&A section. I was like, I'm pretty sure he was there. But yeah, how like a lot of authors have Q&As and whatnot. That's where Mecha Senku is.
That's cool. But it basically, do you have any other good favorite moments, Falcon?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Some of them are.
Apologies, this anime was 11 episodes, so it wasn't
Yeah.
really that many to pick from.
Yeah. So that's probably why we're like gonna repeat a lot or just agree on things being good. I really liked. Which one? I guess it's technically a fight, but I guess we'll just lump them together. I like the fight at the end with Tsukasa and Senku versus Hyoga a lot.
And they tasered him.
That, and then like the whole like having the batteries on his chest is like the shield.
Thing that they threw at him during back at the cave.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I actually watched that scene again on YouTube because they have like Crunchyroll clip for it. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of crazy that Senku was like thinking this far ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm just and Hyoga was like all freaking out and stuff. And Senku was just like fairly slowly. Because you could tell he was weak and struggling, but Hyoga couldn't do anything because Tsukasa was holding his spear.
Yeah. I mean, he could have let go of the spear and ran away, but I guess that goes within the 20 seconds of freaking out when something happened, maybe.
Possibly. I don't know. I feel like Hyoga would know.
Mm-hmm. He might know. He might know indeed. I also really appreciated the scene where we see Ukyo spying on Yuzuriya and seeing her putting the statues together. I just really enjoy that scene. We've already talked about it, so I'm not going to go like in detail. But that also is probably one of my favorite
right
ones.
now.
Go in detail right now. You see her going sewing clothes, and then she gets done, and then she like empties out a bag of stones. You're like, why does she have a bag of stones? And then you see her gluing them. You're like, oh, she gluing the stones. She's making people. She's making people from stone.
Oh, so apparently I'm actually looking at the anime to manga differences for a lot of the episodes, and apparently Ukyo's pacifistic reasons were elaborated on, showing his depetrification, his discussion with Tsukasa, and a flashback to him helping with disaster efforts. I guess that wasn't shown in the manga.
You mean it was shown in the manga, just not in
the
anime?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, gotcha. Because
this is an anime to manga differences, and it
says, gotcha.
So I guess it didn't show that scene I mentioned with him like looking over the wreckage of the disaster efforts. I guess that was added to the anime. So I guess I wouldn't get that same feeling if I read the manga. That's nice then that they added that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've read these volumes of the manga, so I don't remember everything about it. So I didn't remember that, but I still liked Ukyo a lot from the manga, so I think you still would like him, just maybe not as much.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that scene where they showed everything really added to it, in my opinion.
It definitely adds to it, but I don't think it's really needed to appreciate him as a character.
No, I think it is. Personally, I feel like that because it was that one thing that really made me love him. Like, they didn't really explain anything. He's just like, I just don't want to see people suffer, and it's like, why doesn't he want to see people suffer when he's on Tsukasa's side? And then it shows like him looking over the wreckage of like him in the Navy, and he sees like the children and the adults, as I mentioned, like the wreckage and everything, and like just how bad the world can be.
True.
Yeah.
Any other favorite moments, or is it time to go to recommending and telling them what our next time is?
I mean, we could recommend, yeah. Let's go on. Let's move on, Falcon.
Moving on.
Would you recommend this?
Yeah, of course. If you like season 1 of Dr. Stone, you're totally gonna love season 2 of Dr. Stone.
Actually, you're gonna hate it because it's only 11 episodes, and you're gonna wish there was more.
Then you're gonna be like, "What have I done with my life?" I know. Besides the fact that it's 11 episodes, which honestly is probably just due to COVID, it's a really solid 11 episodes. It really just encapsulates all of the Stone War arc perfectly. So you're not having to be like, oh, it's the first 16 episodes that are the Stone War arc, and then the last bit starts the next one. It's really nice and confined. It has everything you need to enjoy it. They really elaborate on the characters we didn't really get to see much last time. The new characters that get brought in are fairly good as well. Plus getting, just more fun sciencey adventures. You get to see them build a freaking tank, I guess there aren't like too many like actual sciencey inventions in this one that don't really pertain to the tank because they build it in like different stages.
You get to see them build bombs.
Oh yeah, you see the bombs. You see the fake pneumonia, which is basically just red water. But you see a little bit, but nothing like when the first season, they first made soap, and then they made this, and they made light bulbs. Then the light bulbs they made, they kind of went through stages of all these different things. Here it was pretty much like, we pretty much have what we need, so we're going to build a car. Oh, let's turn this car into a tank. How are we going to do that? Metal's too heavy. Oh, we'll make essentially paper mache. Like, they have things, but it all pertains to just making the car upgraded to the eventual tank. But yeah, I would still recommend it. I forgot what I rated the first season of Dr. Stone. I gave it probably a 7 or an 8. I'd say about the same for this. I'd say probably like a 7. Don't watch this before watching the first season, obviously. But if you enjoy the first season or you like shonen, definitely give the overall series a shot. What about you, Condor? Would you rate and/or recommend the show?
I hate this show.
Oh,
this
okay.
show is the worst.
Then why'd you pick it?
I'd rather go watch Boku no Pico.
Oh, that is, do not watch Boku no Pico. If you do not know what it is,
that's the one with the heroes, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, it is not. Do not. It is not. No. If you watch it, you will probably get arrested. So do not.
Okay,
do not watch Boku no Pico.
To be perfectly honest, I really like season 2. I am a little sad it was only 11 episodes, but I feel like the 11 episodes really did the arc justice. Not that I read the manga. I feel like everything was nice and thorough. It was pretty well explained. I feel like maybe a tiny bit of it was rushed, but not like a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. I would definitely recommend to watch the first season before watching this one. You won't have any idea about anything.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know who any of the characters are, what they're doing, or why everyone's stoned. Or maybe you'll be stoned watching it.
Maybe.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if you watched this anime while stoned. That'd be pretty weird.
I don't know.
But anyway, I'd probably give it I'm gonna give this season an 8 out of 10 because I really like this. I really like this show, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If it's making me want to watch the manga, read
the manga.
Read the anime. No, read the manga.
Read the anime. Okay,
read
gotcha.
the manga. Then it's really like it really vibes with me well personally. I think that all my opinions from the first recommendation still stand. Whatever I said back then. Thank you, Past Condor. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I'm very much looking forward to the next arc. I know it's going to get a lot more serious. I know things are going to go down from what I've accidentally spoiled myself a little bit, but it's the internet. When do you not spoil yourself? That's just one of the bad things about it. But an 8 out of 10, I would recommend to definitely continue watching this if you watch season 1. And that's about it. I would say it's still friendly. It's still good. It doesn't get too convoluted. If you're a science lover, you're definitely going to love this one. That's it.
All right.
Well, Falcon, why don't you tell the lovely listeners our next anime? Since it is your turn to choose.
It is my turn to pick, and I'm picking a very popular show that I have not had a chance to watch yet. Also, we've been watching a lot of Slice of Life lately, which I personally love. I'm cool with it. But we figure you, the listeners and viewers, whenever this is on YouTube in 2023, you want variety. We're going to give you variety. So we are going to be watching Demon Slayer for next week, the popular shonen series that apparently is very, very good because I always never hear people shut up about it. So that is what we're going to be watching. If you want to talk to us on social media, you can find us once again at BirdBroPod on Twitter. The podcast is on most podcasting services, and the direct website is birdbropod.podbean.com. You can put anything you want to have us acknowledge there on those places. We will acknowledge it and reply, hopefully fairly quickly. I can't guarantee fairly quickly. Who knows? I might be asleep when you post it. That's just what happens.
I might be doing something else.
You might be playing Pokemon. You never know. But yeah, so we hope you all enjoyed it. Next week, we're going to talk about Demon Slayer, which should hopefully be a good ride.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we say goodbye to the people, Condor?
Don't get stoned.
Don't get stoned. That is what Condor's advice is to you.
If you're going to watch Dr. Stone, don't get stoned. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah, this has been our TED Talk on Dr. Stone, Stone Wars. We hope you all have enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time.